Okay, Bitcoin. I did a video on this yesterday, and what I talked about in that video was it was overextended, and I was really wanting to see some kind of pullback and an opportunity to buy. If you go to that video, you'll see it. It's right there, I think. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. I wanted to pull back and then go long. Anyway, that didn't happen. It just pushed up. Now, we've got some interesting price action here that I want to talk about. I want to go to the weekly and get a top-down perspective. Look at this, guys. Look, this is bearish price action. To be honest, you've got like on the weekly, on the bigger picture, you've got head and shoulders. Okay, let's just see if we can work that out. Shoulder, head. Okay, it's not. I mean that's an uptrend here, so it's not like that's a lower low, but you've got this going on here, this channel down. So that's a bit of a thing, right? Admittedly, I mean, over the last few weeks, we've had this really nice push. The other thing you need to consider is this. Look, well, here, support, back here, support. Okay, it messed around here, but this is an institutional level, big time, and we're pushing into it. The other thing we don't have is any red candles along here at all. It's pushed up with a vengeance, but we don't see a red candle. Okay, that's that. Let's come back down to 4 hour maybe. And I just want to have a look at this from a volume profile perspective. Let's just open it up. Where is big money? You know, what are they doing? And volume profile will give you that. Anchored volume profile. So we've got, I mean, if I take it back to, well, that's a fair way, isn't it? Yeah, we just go back into here. This through here, okay, so we had a fair bit of like the high here, the low, the high, back down to the low. This is a big value area where I'd say smart money would have got fairly involved. Right, then it rallies. And so what we get then is this thin kind of long, thin, move. And you're going to find that these guys here, who the big guns, right? That's their profile, guys. This is big money. This is big money down here. This is their footprint. Right? You grab a volume profile, and you'll see exactly. I'll show you. That's anchored volume. I will just throw it in here. See this? This here. That's smart money all through here, and small money gets involved. Well, where you see the gaps in the volume profile, that's thin liquidity, and then you get these where it starts to trend, and it starts to thin out in terms of, see the volume starting to thin out through here, right? So the big guns who accumulate down in here will actually start winding up there. They'll look for FOMO traders buying as an opportunity, basically, to start winding down their positions. And then what you get, well, here's a bit of an instance here where you get a deep pullback, and then they load up again on liquidity under here. So what I'm getting at is this is overextended, right? And I'm waiting for that pullback, and that's what I was talking about in my last video. Anyway, that's overextended. You could argue there's a 5-wave structure and we're looking for an ABC correction. You could argue that there's a bearish head and shoulders up at the high here. All right, have a look at the price action. I'll just open that up. Sorry about moving this thing around everywhere. So you've got, this is definitely bearish looking price action here. You've got a head and shoulders. Okay, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and that's trending down. So that's one thing. If we pick up this and we measure the high to the low, and we do that, it brings us down into, look at this, okay, a potential target. If you go with a head and shoulder strategy, looking for the target, that's how you kind of work that out. And better still, volume profile, anchored volume profile. Look at this volume back in here. So I'm going to pick that up, and what does it give us? See the volume profile here, down in here. Look at the blue line. Under the blue line, you got value, all right, through here. So that's a potential target. if this does go into a deeper retrace. You've also got this. This here is a fair value gap. This is fair value. This is a fair value gap. All right, fair value and fair value. Whoops, I messed it up. Hang on. So you got that going on. So you got the value area down there, right? Balance area. You've got the potential for this to push through these gaps down into value. So if it trends, you know, it pushes through the gap down into fair value, wiggles around, price discovery again, short, it wiggles around, right? So you get that expansion, retrace kind of thing. That's how I see this working. Now, the other thing that I will always use is a VWAP. Anchored VWAP, take it from the previous high, price is under it, take it from the most recent high, price is under it, take it from the most recent low, price is under it. So we got this VWAP cluster that clearly tells us who's mainly in control here at this point. I mean, look, that could definitely hold here, and you know, we're off to the moon again, right? For sure. That could happen. But everything is kind of leaning over. Now, I mean, look, there's an argument bullish and bearish, but I guess I'm just leaning more for the I guess what I'm saying is I want this thing to pull back so I can buy. Okay, I don't want to buy up in here. I don't want to do that. And so if you're going to short this, what I need to see is this, the opposite of this. See how you get a higher high, higher low, buy on that breakout there. Higher high, higher low, buy when it breaks structure there, right? Higher high, higher low, you buy, right, on that push. So the same thing, bearish, you're going to look for the lower high, lower low. Well, it's happening all through here, but then we've had this higher high. So what I want to see is that to give me a lower low pullback, and that could be a potential counter trend. It's scary. Stop just above the point of control, I guess. Target number 1, target number 2. That's about 3R. That's nice. I mean, depending on your stop loss, right? 3 or 4R target. So that's a possible short idea. And a long idea would be if it happens to break, if it holds and it happens to break above here, then I would look to buy, stop just under value here, and you know, that's target 1 there, and then target 2 just go for broke. I will always look to take 50% of the position of it 1R, and then, you know, because it's a really volatile market, guys. It could turn around and head in any direction at any time. That's the thing with this. So there's a couple of, you know, and then just follow it with VWAP. I mean, if it breaks bullish, just throw a VWAP on the base. You know, there's another VWAP here, and it's got to get above the cluster and volume profile, the value. See, you don't want to be mucking around through this value area, but it's got to break out of value and go into price discovery, right? Same thing with that. So a couple of ideas would be a possible short under here. Just note that there's note sell, and a possible buy if it breaks above. I'm kind of leaning short, but you know, as I said, it could head in any direction, to be honest. But what I don't see on that weekly time frame is a decent red candle. So I'm reluctant to actually buy at this level. See, the other thing it can do, it can wiggle through here. It could trade down. Everybody piles in short, then it runs, stops, and then we get it, right? So watch out. It's full on. All right. That's my take anyway. I'd love it if you comment. Let me know what you think. Are we on the same page? Can you relate? Do you not relate? Whatever the case may be. Hope you have a great day. Safe trading, and see you in the next one.